Well, it's a sad but also joyful day, people. Today is the day. It's time for Wilbur to go. So poor old Wilbur. I know a lot of you guys, follow my channel. You like Wilbur and you ask about Wilbur and how he's doing. And you know that Wilbur's been down for, I guess, 6 months now, really. And if you go back to the videos, the last few videos where I was hauling dirt, I mentioned that, Wilbur had taken a dump. Well, what happened was the right side middle final drive locked up. I don't know why. I was driving, I looked back and I could see it was like jamming and skipping and not wanting to turn. And so that day, as soon as I saw that, I just shut it down. I said, well, I don't want to drive it anymore and potentially tear it up worse, so I just shut it down. And it sat here by the driveway for about 5 or 6 months. We'll say 5 months to be nice. And finally, Ryan came out to look at it. We opened it up and we confirmed, yeah, okay, it's locked up. The inner axle is totally stripped off. So we were going to go swap. I've got the full spare drive axle. We started to go look at that. We were going to swap the whole hub. Then we said, well, why don't we just swap the whole axle? And then the more we thought about it, the more we just said, well, it's going to be probably a couple grand in labor for Ryan to help me. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. But realistically, we're going to put all this work into it, and then I'm done with the truck. I don't need it. I mean, if I still had it and I still wanted to haul some dirt, maybe a couple loads here and there, maybe. But I'm 99% done with moving big dirt with this big truck. And, I never put it on jobs just because I don't want to, he's an old truck. He's a farm truck. He's not a commercial truck anymore. So I never wanted to hire him out and go put him on pawn jobs just because I was afraid, that he'd break down on the job or something. And then, I'd be in a real bind because I'd have a broke down truck on somebody else's property. I mean, that's just how it's always been. I've never taken this truck off site except to go straight across the road to Alonzo's. I'm not going to take it on an off-site job somewhere. It's just, again, it's not meant for that. It's a farm use truck. Run it every now and then, and you get years and years and years out of it. But trying to run it hard every day, it may not last, Anyway, so we decided then, I said, well, I'm not going to put the work and the money into paying Ryan to help me swap it just to turn around and sell it. Because when you get old iron like this, and those of you that shop for old iron and trade old iron, it reaches a point where it's not really worth anymore. It's not really worth any less. So these trucks, any day, any given place, you can go to a Ritchie Brothers auction. You can get an old truck like this, 10 to 12.5. I mean, that's what I paid 12.5 for it back when I bought it years ago. And, I'm posted it for sale now for 12.5. And I've got a lot of people that were interested in it at that price. Of course, people want to haggle and negotiate, whatever. But it's a fair price for an old truck like this. The fact is, this truck weighs 60,000 pounds. Okay, empty. I can take it for scrap metal right now at 6 cents and get $3,600 just in scrap metal. But it's got a good engine, it's got a good trans, fully rebuilt fuel pump, so there's a couple grand extra. But you go and put $3,000-4,000 into a repair, you're not going to get that back. You go put a brand new set of tires on this thing that costs $15,000, $20,000, you're not going to get that back. So for me, it's not worth it to put the labor into making the repair, and it's just money out the window. So I've posted it up for sale as is. I talked to several people about it. Finally got a guy that, he clearly understands exactly what's wrong. He's looked at all the spare parts that I have. The worst case scenario with this thing is, you run it till it totally fails, and then you go to try to swap the other axle under it that I have, and for some reason it doesn't fit. That is the absolute worst case scenario. So then you just go to a boneyard and you find another axle and you just swap it under $4,000 or $5,000 depending on where you get it. That's your worst case scenario. That's what this guy's looking at. Worst case scenario, $5,000 plus labor, has to throw a whole new axle under it, or a new takeout from somebody else. Best case scenario is he runs it, gets his use out of it, and this thing never actually gives him any problems, because here, I'll show you. We took this inner axle out, so that wheel just freewheels now. This truck is effectively a 3x6, not a 4x6. See, here's the old axle that was in it, interior axle, and here's the new one, axle shaft, that we pulled out. I say new, that we pulled out of my other drive axle. Okay, so we opened up that other drive axle that I have. It looked really good. Now, I bought it used. I have no idea when's the last time it was ever turned or run, but we opened it up, the oil ran out, and it was clean and fresh. It looked good. Anyway, so I've got a buyer, we've got a deal, and we're gonna be trading. He's getting Wilbur, and he's got a little single axle road truck, a little 7/8 yard. So we're trading his truck plus cash for Wilbur. So I'm excited to show you guys that. We're making the swap today. For right now, I've got Rosie started up. I've got to get all of the spare parts, that whole back half, the transmission, the rear floating axle, shields, mufflers, the door, anything and everything that I can find, it's going. Oh, that reminds me, the door is back in the back on top of the Connex box. Ugh. That might be a pain in the butt to go get. But I want everything, anything and everything that goes with this truck, that could go with this truck, needs to go with this truck. That's the best possible chance. I've collected these parts over the years. It's the best possible chance that this guy takes it and he can run it as long as possible. That's what I want. I want him to get his use out of it, you know, get his money back out of it. That's the best deal. And, you know, see if he can take it, and if he has to sell it for scrap in the end or part it out, you know, that's up to him. But anyway, no secrets, no lies. I told him everything. I've showed him the whole history. I sent him my YouTube channel. You know, you can't go back and edit those videos where I was like, crap, Wilbur broke again. I can't lie about this stuff. Told him everything. He's fine with it. He's gonna take it. He's gonna take the gamble. You know, I don't blame him. I think for what he's wanting to do, he basically got a clay pit like me, and you know, on his own property, and he's just wanting to dig that clay pit out some more and be able to stockpile dirt. And so this is the perfect truck to do that. I don't think he plans to take it off and put it on commercial jobs either, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, so my task for now, I got to go start cleaning up around the parts truck, getting anything and everything that I can find over there, and just start loading it in the bed of this truck. Jeff is going to be making the haul for me, so Jeff's going to come over here whenever he's freed up with a bunch of heavy chains and help me, because that big back half, that's going to be kind of a booger. I did it by myself before, but if I can make it a two-man job, that'd be better. Just to pick that whole thing up, we'll just fly it up into the bed of the truck. But the spare transmission, spare axle, all that sort of stuff, I'm going to go ahead and go get that stuff and start getting it picked up and loaded in and getting ready. And that way, when Jeff gets here, we can load that back half, and hopefully everything else is done. Jeff will show up with his truck, load him up, he's out of here. Jeff's making the return haul, so the guy that's buying it, he's about, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes away. I went over there and looked at his truck last night, said everything's okay with it. So since Jeff's going over there, his old truck, I could probably drive it home, but why, right? Jeff's going anyway. Jeff's coming right back this way, so Jeff's getting the return haul too on that to bring the old truck back to me. Saves me the hassle and headache of going over there a second trip to go pick it up, and it saves me the risk of getting pulled over in that thing, because I doubt the lights on it work. And you know, again, it's a site truck also, it's just a smaller site truck, so more to come on that. Anyway, I don't really want to drive it down the road if I don't have to. I'm sure I could talk my way out of a ticket if I had to. Hey man, I just bought this thing, just getting it home. But not worth it. So Jeff's gonna do the return haul. So by this evening, Wilbur should be gone, the other truck should be home, and I'll try to talk to you guys then once I get the other truck home and show you all about it.